Sensation tell us a thing is. Thinking tells us what it is this thing is. Feeling tells us what this thing is to us. So today we're going to be talking about feelings. We're going to talk about what they are, where they come from, and how they influence our lives. Welcome to Life Noggin. First off, let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that you have feelings. You get to experience love and joy, excitement and anticipation. Even though you may think of feelings as simple reactions to events around you, psychologists like Carl Gustav Jung had more nuanced theories about their purpose. They're caused by things that stimulate our sensory organs like our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. When something stimulates these organs, they send signals to the brain which then interprets them, and that is how we become aware of us and ask ourselves what it means to us or what we should do about it. So in the scenario of being cold, we might ask ourselves, but some people tend to rely more heavily on one of these processes over the others. For example, some people are very in tune with their bodies and can easily identify what they are feeling. These people tend to be more intuitive and make decisions based on how they feel. Other people are more logical and rational and prefer to think things through before making a decision. Negative feelings like sadness, anger, and fear can motivate us to make changes in our lives or help us to empathize with others who are going through tough times. For example, if we are feeling sad, it might be because we haven't been taking care of ourselves. Or if we are feeling angry, it might be because we feel like something isn't fair. When we take the time to explore these feelings and try to understand them better, we are better able to regulate them and use them to our advantage. So thank you for watching this episode of Life Noggin. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, well, you can always hit that dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel to keep watching more of our videos. You can watch more of my videos right here. Check out this playlist. And as always, this has been your host. Don't forget to keep on thinking. These people tend to be more analytical and less emotional in their approach to life. By doing this, we can start to identify patterns in our emotions and learn what causes them. They allow us to experience the full range of human emotions and help us to connect with others on a deeper level. Are you feeling curious? Are you feeling bored? Are you feeling like you want to learn more? Maybe you're feeling a little bit of all of those things. Whatever you're feeling, know that it's okay. All feelings are valid and important. Just like Carl Jung suggested, we need to take the time to explore our feelings and understand them better. If we do, we will be better able to regulate them and use them to our advantage. While feelings can sometimes be difficult to deal with, they are an important part of our lives, and we should take the time to explore them and understand them better. We can also start to notice how our feelings affect our behavior and try to use them to make better decisions. Another way to get in touch with our feelings is to take a personality test like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator or the Big 5 personality traits. These tests can help us understand our tendencies and preferences and give us insight into what might be causing our feelings. We can also talk to a therapist or counselor who can help us explore our feelings in a safe and non-judgmental environment. Still, other people fall somewhere in between these two extremes. They take into account both their feelings and their thoughts when making decisions. These people tend to be more well-rounded and flexible in their thinking. Why am I cold? Maybe we left the window open last night, and now the house is cold. Sometimes our feelings can get the better of us, and we can make decisions that we later regret. Other times, our feelings can be so strong that they can make it hard to think clearly or make any decisions at all. For example, if we are feeling grateful for something, we are more likely to be positive and optimistic. If we are feeling hopeful about the future, we are more likely to take risks and pursue our goals. And if we are feeling connected to something or someone greater than ourselves, we are more likely to experience a sense of peace and contentment. Feelings are complex and sometimes difficult to deal with, but they are an important part of what makes us human. They allow us to connect with others on a deeper level and make our experiences richer and more meaningful. Or maybe we didn't put on enough clothes before going outside. Positive psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on the positive aspects of human experience rather than just the negative. And emotions are a big part of what positive psychologists study. One of the main goals of positive psychology is to identify and understand the emotions that contribute to happiness and well-being. Researchers have found that emotions like gratitude, optimism, hope, and contentment are important for our overall happiness. So it turns out that asking ourselves what our feelings mean to us can actually be an important part of living a happy and fulfilling life. After figuring out why we're cold, we might start to feel frustrated or annoyed. But then after thinking about it a bit more, Maybe we won't be so upset once we realize that the reason we recold is because we forgot to put on a jacket, which is something that's easy to fix. So, in this scenario, our feelings help us process the situation and decide how we should respond to it. Our senses allow us to perceive many different types of things, including temperature, pressure, light, sound, odors, tastes, and textures. These sensations then travel to the brain where they are processed, and then we act based on what we have perceived. This happens all the time without us having to think about it. Like when you walk outside in the cold, your body automatically puts on extra layers of goosebumps, and then you shiver in order to warm up. These are all examples of sensations, and they help keep us alive by alerting us to potential dangers or helping us find what we need to survive. Without sensations, we wouldn't be able to function in the world around us. Jung said that our feelings can be categorized into three: sensation, thinking, and feeling. Sensation simply refers to the physical feeling itself. Once we have sensed something in our environment, we use our cognitive abilities to try to understand what it is that we are sensing. This could involve recalling past experiences, making logical deductions, or using our knowledge of the world to draw conclusions. So, for example, if you were outside and your skin started to get cold, you might think, "I'm cold," and that would lead you to look for ways to warm up, like finding a jacket or walking inside. In this scenario, your thoughts help you make sense of the sensation of your body getting cold, so that you can take the appropriate next steps. And this is the role of thinking in our feelings. It allows us to interpret the sensation and decide what to do next. What does this thing mean to me? What does it say about me? Or even, what do I do with this thing? As Jung pointed out, sensation tells us that there is something. Thinking tells us what it is, and feeling tells us what it is to us. So let's explore each one in a little more detail, starting with sensation. Like, you can feel a headache coming on, or you can feel the sun warming your skin. With sensation, you just feel something. Not only that, but you also get to feel empathy and compassion for others. On top of all of that, you also get to make your own decisions about what to eat tonight, what TV show you want to binge watch, and who you want to call when you need help. In fact, you might be watching this video because you chose to click on it. You chose to pursue a nagging curiosity about something related to feelings. And it's because of your feelings, or at least some of your choices driven by them, that you ended up here. But even though feelings are such an important part of our lives, we're often not exactly sure what they are or why we have them. Next is thinking. This is when you try to figure out what the thing is that you are feeling. For example, if you feel your face getting hot and your heart beating faster, you might think that you are experiencing shyness or maybe anxiety. Your thinking helps you determine what it is that you're feeling. And finally, there is feeling, which is different than sensation. It's when you ask yourself, sensation are our biological responses to the world around us. The next step in the process of feeling is thinking, but the final step in this process is feeling. This is when we evaluate the object or the situation, so we see that sensation. Thinking and feeling all play important roles in our lives, but it's not always easy to rely on our feelings. In fact, emotions are so important that researchers in the field of positive psychology have dedicated years of study towards them. When we take the time to explore our feelings and try to understand them better, we are better able to regulate them and use them to our advantage. Of course, not all feelings are positive, but even negative feelings can be beneficial if we know how to use them. One way to do this is to keep a journal and write down our feelings every day. In conclusion, our feelings are an important part of what makes us human. So we ask you, what are your feelings telling you? So what are you waiting for? Start exploring your feelings today. You never know what you might discover.